Hey guys, today we've got some big news to talk about, one that's going to shake up the No Prep King scene in a major way. Bobby Ducote, a name that's been a staple in street racing and Street Outlaws, has just announced that he's stepping down from full-time No Prep Kings competition this year. Now, if you've been following Bobby's journey, you know he's a fierce competitor. He's battled it out against some of the fastest racers in the game, taken on the best of the best, and always brought his A-game to the track. But this year, things are changing. And trust me, this decision isn't just about Bobby, it's about the future of No Prep Kings itself. So, let's get into it. Bobby made the announcement on his Facebook page, letting fans know that while he might still attend a few races to support his fans and sponsors, he won't be running the full NPK schedule. And let's be real, he's not the only one. This is a trend we've been seeing more and more among longtime Street Outlaws racers, and it all comes down to one major factor: the cost of competition. Racing in No Prep Kings isn't just about having a fast car, it's about having deep pockets. The expenses of running a full season are insane. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars just to stay competitive. Fuel, tires, travel, hotel stays, maintenance, and those unexpected breakdowns that can set a team back thousands in a single night. On average, a team spends between $10,000 to $15,000 per race, and that's if everything goes smoothly. Blow a motor? You're looking at a six-figure repair bill. And with 12 races, and possibly more, on the schedule this year, that cost adds up fast. For many racers, it's becoming impossible to justify chasing the championship unless they have major sponsorship backing. And even then, the question remains, does the reward outweigh the investment? Now, here's where things get really interesting. The NPK car counts have been dropping. Back in 2023, we were used to seeing over 32 plus cars battling it out at each event. But last season, the numbers started dwindling. At one race, there were only 17 cars competing, almost half of what we were used to seeing. That's a major red flag for the series. If fewer racers can afford to compete, the competition suffers, and ultimately, the fans lose out. And let's not forget the drama surrounding the new contract situation: who's getting paid to show up, who's committing to the series, and who's walking away. It's all adding fuel to the fire and making the No Prep Kings future uncertain. With all the uncertainty in No Prep Kings, racers are looking at other options. Enter Jim Howe's No Time King series, a new racing series that's shaking things up in a big way. This series offers a shorter 6-race schedule, less travel, less expense. Higher payouts, more money on the line for winners. A fresh alternative, giving racers another platform to showcase their talent. This could be exactly what the sport needs right now. A more sustainable option for racers who still want to compete without completely draining their bank accounts. If more racers start shifting to series like this, No Prep Kings could be in real trouble. So, what does this mean for Bobby? Well, stepping down from full-time NPK doesn't mean he's stepping away from racing entirely. He's still a fan favorite, still has a ridiculously fast car, and still has the passion for the sport. The big question is, will we see him return full-time if the financials make sense? I sure hope so. Bobby is one of the real ones. He brings that old-school, gritty, Street Outlaws energy that made us all fall in love with the show in the first place. And with the right sponsors and opportunities, there's no doubt he could come back stronger than ever. But until then, we're going to have to wait and see. Will more racers follow his lead and step away from No Prep Kings? Will Jim Howe's new series gain momentum and take over? One thing's for sure, the landscape of street racing is changing. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Bobby is making the right decision? Is No Prep Kings in trouble? And will we see a major shift in the sport toward new racing series? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's talk about it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on all things Street Outlaws, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Dear friends, Bobby Ducote is back with something fresh, and this time, it's a machine that brings us right back to the golden era of Street Outlaws. If you've been following Bobby's journey, you know he's no stranger to building and driving some of the nastiest cars on the street and the track. But this latest addition, a small tire Nova, might just be one of his most exciting moves yet. In a time where no prep kings and street racing have evolved into high-dollar, full-chassis, pro-mod level machines, Bobby's decision to step into a more traditional street car is a breath of fresh air. This Nova isn't just about raw horsepower, it's about bringing back the roots of street racing, where skill, tuning, and smart driving mattered just as much as the size of your wallet. So, what's this new build all about? Let's dive into the details. Bobby's known for running big power nitrous builds, and his Firebird, packing a 787 cubic inch nitrous motor, is proof of that. But this Nova? It's a whole different approach. Big block Chevy power. From what we can see, the Nova is equipped with a big block Chevy on nitrous. While we don't have the exact specs on the engine size, it appears to be a single carb setup, keeping things straightforward and effective. Nitrous power, this isn't just some mild street cruiser. The car is equipped with 2 nitrous kits, meaning Bobby can throw some serious power at it when needed. It's a proven formula: big block, small tire, and nitrous that's won countless races over the years. Classic street racing look, the Nova carries a very nostalgic street racing appearance. If you go back to the early days of Street Outlaws, around 2012 to 2013, this was the kind of car dominating the top 10 list in the 405. Sure, there were some big tire monsters in the mix, but a small tire, 600 plus cubic inch big block Chevy combo was a recipe for success back then. If you've been a fan of Street Outlaws since the early days, you probably missed the times when racing was more about skill than money. Back then, most of the cars were steel-bodied, stock-appearing monsters with big-inch engines and nitrous. It wasn't about full-blown $500,000 race cars with Proline engines, screw blowers, and NASA-level technology. It was about real street cars, cars that looked like something you could actually build in your own garage. And that's exactly why Bobby's Nova is such a huge deal. It's a return to that gritty, relatable style of street racing, where drivers had to work for wins, not just outspend the competition. In today's No Prep Kings world, the top-level cars are essentially pro mods with steel roofs and VIN numbers. They run 3000-4000 plus horsepower setups, have million-dollar teams behind them, and are built for the absolute fastest times possible on a no-prep surface. While that's exciting, it's also made the sport less accessible and relatable to everyday racers. That's why Bobby's Nova is so refreshing. It's a true street car with a simple, proven setup, one that any gearhead can appreciate. Now, the big question, where does Bobby plan to race this thing? Small Blue Diamond Real Street Racing, this car looks perfectly dialed in for street-style racing. Whether it's cash days, back roads, or even grudge matches, the Nova setup screams real-world performance. Small Blue Diamond small tire no prep events, while it's not on the same level as the 4,000 HP monsters like Ryan Martin and Kai Kelly's no prep small tire builds, Bobby's Nova could be very competitive at local no prep events that focus on real-world cars instead of full chassis monsters. Small Blue Diamond old school shootouts, with the recent rise of nostalgic street racing events, this car could be a major player in bringing back classic style matchups. For a lot of Street Outlaws fans, Bobby's Nova is a symbol of the sport's roots. It's not about who can spend the most money, it's about who can build the best car for the streets. And let's be real, this is the kind of car that gets people hyped. When you see it pull up at a race, you know it's going to be a hard-fought battle, not just a horsepower war. With its simple yet powerful combination, this Nova proves that you don't need $500,000 to be fast. It's a car that represents the blue-collar racers, the ones who still turn their own wrenches, tune their own setups, and race with heart. Bobby Ducote's small tire Nova isn't just another build, it's a statement. A statement that says street racing is still alive, and it doesn't have to be dominated by high-dollar pro mods. With its classic small tire setup, big block Chevy power, and nitrous-fed aggression, this Nova is set to be one of the most exciting street cars we've seen in a long time. But what do you think? Is this the kind of car that brings back real street racing? Would you rather see more small tire builds like this instead of pro mod level NPK cars? Where do you think Bobby should race it first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're as excited about this build as we are, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Until next time, keep it fast, keep it loud, and keep it real.